Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Carving It Up Live right here on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on Twitter. As always, I'm Bryson Carver, and this isn't your typical show on a Thursday. NBA free agency 30 seconds ago has just kicked off, and safe to say we've got already bombshells coming all the way across of sports. We've got like a million, news stories coming in right now. Some extensions, some deals that we're going to get to throughout the show. Some guests are going to come on. NBA free agency has kicked off. I mean, I'm telling you, things are breaking like as we speak from Woj, from Shams. It is going to be phenomenal time that we have here today. Again, some special guests, but let's just cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase right now. I'll go and pull up the tweet from a few hours ago from the great Shams Charania of The Athletic. Quote, here it is. I'll read it for the podcast audience. It simply says, Kevin Durant has requested a trade out of Brooklyn, sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. So Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Of course he has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Because let me give you sort of an inside look about the decision that Kevin Durant made, ironically, 3 years ago to the day, June the 30th of 2019, when he left my Golden State Warriors to go to the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm saying this objectively as a Warriors fan. Let's say you are really good at what you do. And you've made relationships, professional relationships, those in your business, and relationships, a guy, if you're a guy, going out for lunch with, if you're a girl, going to dinner with, or going shopping with, right? We all have those different types of friends. And you have a friend who is really talented, but maybe not the most reliable. They'll show up late to a party or a staff meeting. They're that kind, but they're fun. And they're unbelievably talented. And when you're doing business with them, love it. But the problem is the company that you are at is the best company. If you're in tech, you're working at Apple. You're working at Apple. If you're working in retailing, Amazon. If you're working in, electric vehicles, Tesla. The best businesses. And you are at the top of your game, just getting better and better, having all the success. And your friend who is pretty successful, very talented, comes to you and says, hey, let's join this company over here. Let's go to Dodge. Let's say in the vehicle business. Let's go to Dodge, right? And we're going to build Dodge up from the ground up. We're going to have it on equal footing with Tesla. And you left Tesla to go to Dodge. It blew up, and Tesla continues to succeed. That's what Kevin Durant did by leaving the Golden State Warriors to join the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving. It is never a good investment to leave a phenomenally run organization to go to kind of a dumpster fire, if we're being completely honest, at least since the franchise moved to Brooklyn, just so you could play with your buddy. That doesn't sound like the greatest business investment, because that's what it is. NBA is a business. Years ago, people criticized LeBron for leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers, and rather than going to a contender like the Houston Rockets at the time, or Philadelphia was a team that was floated out there. Some even mentioned the San Antonio Spurs, teams ready to compete now. He went to the Lakers. Well, it's a bunch of kids over there. They're not going to compete. And sure enough, of course, the Lakers missed the playoffs LeBron's first year in Los Angeles. But LeBron had an objective in going to Los Angeles. He said, look, I've won my titles. I've won in Miami. I got the one in Cleveland, the one that means more than any ring that I have won or ever will win. I want to grow my business. I want to grow my brand. That's what he did. His net worth has doubled since he moved to Los Angeles. He's a billionaire now. If Kevin Durant had left my Golden State Warriors and joined the Boston Celtics, or dare I say an organization that has really been on the come up the last few years, the Los Angeles Clippers. If he had joined the Miami Heat, a team that is actually reportedly, according to Woj, on his wish list along with the Phoenix Suns. Okay, I get it. A team that's well run, on the cusp of a championship, and you say, let's make it happen. You join the Brooklyn Nets. And your first year you missed because you obviously tore his Achilles in the finals. He did not play the first year. Second year, he's healthy. Kyrie Irving's healthy. And I said it at the time, in January of last year, they gave up Jared Allen, arguably the best shot blocker in basketball, certainly top 3. Karis LeVert, gifted scorer. Taurean Prince, excellent defender. They give up all these pieces. They let Spencer Dinwiddie walk out the back door after this past season. Yet and still, they do that to go get James Harden. And the objective of that was, okay, we got 3 superstars, 3 of the 5 best scorers, 3 of the 7, 8 best scorers in basketball. We can go win a championship. Except Kevin Durant's unreliable in his health. Only played 56 games last year. Missed so much time that had he played enough games, he would have been the leading scorer in the NBA this season. But he wasn't. Didn't play enough games. His body is breaking down in recent years. Kyrie Irving, the definition of unreliable. The definition of unreliable. The vaccine stuff, injury history, randomly taking 2 weeks off at the beginning of a season, and then they find pictures of you partying at the club when you are taking an excused absence to get yourself right. And then James Harden, we don't have the time for today's free agency show to go into James Harden's playoff struggles. So you're hitching and by the way, James Harden takes zero care of his body in the offseason. Kevin Durant hitched his wagon to that. Why? Because he wanted to be the best player in a championship team. Now, do I believe Kevin Durant could be the best player in a championship team? Yes, because I've seen him do it before in 2017. Now, 2018, I think Steph was the best player in that team. That is if you give him a set culture. That is if you give him an emotional leader. That is if you give him an elite, borderline Hall of Fame head coach. Who are the teams that Kevin Durant reportedly wants to join? The Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat. Everything I just described. Culture, set. Emotional leader, set. Borderline Hall of Fame head coach, set. I think Eric Spoelstra is a Hall of Fame coach. It's Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard are the same guy. Now, Kawhi is a better defender than KD, although KD, I think, is excellent. He's certainly a great rim protector on that end of the floor, but can get their own shot, excellent score, can play defense. Maybe doesn't get their teammates involved. I think KD is better at that, getting his teammates involved than Kawhi is. But everywhere Kawhi has been, the culture's been set. San Antonio, Toronto, and then the Clippers. He's had a little bit to build, a little bit to do with building that culture from the bad days of Donald Sterling to now. But he needs the emotional leader. He needs the borderline Hall of Fame head coach, the well-run franchise. That's where KD wants to go. By the way, don't blame him. If nothing else, this is Kevin Durant saying, all right, I know who I am now. Maybe he has come to the realization about who he is as a basketball player. He's not going to lead your team to a championship. He can be the best player. There's no question about that. But in Golden State, the emotional leader, Draymond Green. And then in the locker room, it was Steph Curry. The Hall of Fame coach, Steve Kerr, the well-run organization. We're talking about Bob Myers, the general manager, all the way up to the ownership, Joe Lacob, Peter Guber. This is what it is. A few comments here from Grady Edwards. Shout out to Grady. He says, KD to Miami or Phoenix is what I think will happen. KD to Denver is what should happen. Talking about pairing 2 dudes with a chip on their shoulder and Jokic and KD. That'd be nasty. Then the second comment, Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. is the package I would want if I were the Nets, preferably Murray. Yeah, I mean, for the Brooklyn Nets, that make a ton of sense, right? You get two young stars. Michael Porter Jr., I worry about the injuries. I worry about his availability ever since his college days. If you limp into the NBA, you're probably going to limp out of the NBA, and that's kind of been the story of Michael Porter Jr. Plus, that contract is not looking good today. Now, Jamal Murray, I love the kid, but again, we'll see what happens. Again, we've got so many news coming in. See, I'm just like I'm trying to just to keep up with everything going on. But if he is ready, I need a thumbs up down there from my next guest if he's ready to go. Joining the show now is, I would say, and it's been a while since I've been able to say this, a pretty happy Laker fan on to Carving Up Live. Let's go and bring him on. Barry Grant Jr. to Carving It Up Live. Barry, I can see that smile on your face. We talked earlier, but how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just here kind of being actually excited for what's transpiring here. There's a lot of extensions that have been signed.
Yes.
A lot of the big stars are staying home. We have Devin Booker, we have Jokic, we have Bradley Beal, who I thought that he would entertain going to Miami or Boston, but he stays home with the Washington Wizards, which good for him. I think the fact that he's one of those guys that he's very loyal. He has a little Dame in him, to a fault maybe, but happy for him, and let's see what Washington can do to be able to build around him. But that's not the reason why I'm smiling. Of course, the free agency is great, but the world is burning in Brooklyn. Yeah, the thing with me is that I remember when this whole thing went down, and on my show I said, be careful what you wish for. There's certain players that don't deserve certain perks or responsibilities or power. Kawhi Leonard's one of them. He's in a situation where he has some good leadership, obviously, so they can direct his chaos. Kyrie Irving is one of them. Kevin Durant's one of them. James Harden is one of them. And not only did the Brooklyn Nets put one, but they added two. And then they added three of the guys that you should never relinquish power to. One guy just wants to play basketball. The other guy, we don't even know if he wants to play basketball because he's never there, because he's always having some type of issue. The other guy, we don't know if he's passionate enough to keep in shape in regards to being available when you need him. Now, the Brooklyn Nets are a desperate franchise. Desperate franchises make desperate moves. And we've seen it today. They are the blueprint of what not to do in the NBA. If you want to give power to people, I have no problem with having a good partnership with star players that are worth it. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Chris Paul. These guys you can be able to relinquish some power to and know and trust that they're not going to abuse it.
Yep.
Kevin Durant, there's a reason why he went to Golden State. It's because there's structure there. There's a reason why he wants to go to Miami. Guess where the power structure lies? With Pat Riley. Guess where the power structure lies in leadership on the court? With Jimmy Butler. They're not looking to him for leadership. They're looking to him to just be an assassin. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't care about responsibility. The same thing with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie understands that the only person that can be able to allow him to be him and shield him from the criticism is LeBron James. That's why he wants to go to LA. It's all about what makes a player comfortable. And in these situations, And just like, okay, and going back to James Harden as well, where did he go? He went back to what makes him comfortable, being with Daryl Morey. That's what's comfortable to him. So you got 3 players that you should have never gave anything to, and the house is burning in Brooklyn, and I love it.
There's a lot to unpack, obviously, with this entire situation. I think, and I started my show by saying this, that, and again, we talked about this earlier, that not only I don't think Kevin Durant just needs structure, I think he needs sort of a second alpha dog. Like KD is kind of a passive aggressive type of dude.
He needs leadership. He needs a alpha dog mentality. Not necessarily a guy on the court that's an alpha dog, but an alpha dog leader. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely.
And so that's, and the Kyrie Irving situation is interesting because he actually opted into his deal during the show on Monday. And so I assumed, okay, it's KD and Kyrie, one more, sort of like a last dance type of feel in Brooklyn.
Right.
But that's not the case whatsoever. The reports are saying, I'm just going to go and say right now, it's a foregone conclusion. Kyrie Irving is going to be a Los Angeles Laker. It's a matter of whether.
Think so?
I think so. Stephen A. Smith said earlier, if I can pull up the quote, I screenshot. Okay, Stephen A. Smith said, quote, Kyrie is telling everybody he plans on going to L.A., meaning the Lakers, as soon as he possibly can. When he becomes a free agent after the season is over, he plans on rejoining LeBron James in a Lakers uniform.
Okay, so that if that's the case, I think his agent will be telling teams the same thing, which means that teams are going to back off.
Which is sort of a similar situation of Kawhi Leonard in 2018.
Right.
Everybody knew Kawhi Leonard was going to Los Angeles, so
right.
it was a one-year rental, and the Raptors' risk ended up paying off at the championship.
Right.
Kyrie Irving isn't exactly Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
So it is literally a matter of whether Kyrie is a Laker in a week or if he's a Laker in 2023. That's what it comes down to. He's going to be a Los Angeles Laker. The real question mark is Kevin Durant. I know Grady's in the comments. He mentioned Denver, and we can break that down. Let's see. Grady said, I can see that look in his eyes. He said Barry is hoping for Kyrie Irving. Of course, he's. And I've told you, Barry, be careful what you wish for. And I know you say he's better than
I know what we're getting into. I understand it, Bryson. But I'm telling you, the one guy that can protect this crazy flat Earth thinker is LeBron James. The other one is Coach K, and Coach K will probably be on the phone as well. So.
Yeah,
we'll figure this out. We have the guy to be able to keep him under wraps, and that's all we need. We just need 50 games out of Kyrie. We don't need any more than that.
You better hope that's the case, because it's not looking good in Los Angeles in terms of being a championship contender. But hey, we'll see what happens.
Man, teams are throwing out some money. I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah,
as a Laker fan, shouts to Malik Monk. He got his money. But the place that he got his money in, my condolences, Malik Monk. You went to NBA Siberia. Of course, they have money to spend because they always have money to spend because they spend poorly on players every single year. So I hope you put up your numbers, and I hope eventually you get traded from NBA Siberia.
Yep. No, that's that one surprised me a little bit because he voiced he wanted to stay with the Lakers. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Okay, so we got the Jokic Supermax deal, and we got the Supermax with Devin Booker. What's your reaction to the Booker extension? Because I think do you think affect the Nets deal in any way, shape, or form, or do you think that this is how much do you think it impacts this whole situation?
I think it may help it probably because maybe the salaries match up a little bit more. I don't know how the CBA works. Like when you sign an extension, are you eligible for a trade right away? I don't know how that goes. So we have to kind of deep dive into that. But that might show us that I don't think that Phoenix is planning to get rid of Devin Booker. Now, if the Nets say it's a talking point with Devin Booker, we're not having a conversation unless Booker is involved, then maybe they decide to go ahead and say, okay, well, let's see what type of package we can be able to put around that and get that done. The Nets have no draft picks, and I think that they're looking for a team that they can be able to replenish the shelf. and get some young pieces back. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think this thing can happen. I think it can get completed quickly. But it all depends on what team is actually going to have the best package. We can go ahead and spitball and say this, and that, but what team is going to be willing to give up everything for a 34-year-old that's still in his prime? Yes, but comes with a lot of baggage.
Yep, he does, and that's that's the real sort of.
By the way, Milwaukee got better. I just want to put this out because we're doing this free agent. So as we're doing this KD thing, there's a whole bunch of news coming in.
Oh yeah.
Wesley Matthews, Joe Ingles have agreed to sign 1-year deals with the Bucks.
Wow, Joe Ingles. I like that. Wesley Matthews. He's been all over the league. He was with Milwaukee this year, right? This past season.
Yes.
Okay, because I was gonna say I remember seeing him in a Bucks uniform, and Joe Ingles too. That's a nice one because that's another shooter. Again, I've always talked about with Giannis, he doesn't get enough credit for how good of a distributor he is.
Yes,
especially once he gets in the paint. So that is a great pickup for the Milwaukee Bucks. And
in a shocker, Mo Bamba signs back with the Orlando Magic.
Okay,
2 years, $21 million. That was a shock to me. I thought that once they made him a unrestricted free agent that they were willing to part ways with him, but they got a deal done to keep him in Orlando.
It's an interesting one because, okay, let's see. Nick Batum is going back to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
That does make sense.
Bobby Portis is also back with the Bucks, $49 million for 4 years.
That one didn't surprise me that much, just for the simple fact that I think he likes it in Milwaukee. I think the culture and the fans.
And he played well. He earned that money.
He earned that money. No question about it. And that's kind of the thing at the end of the day is obviously if you want to get the money elsewhere, I got you. But if you can get the bag, even if it's a little less of a bag in the current place you're at, especially if we're talking about a championship contender,
yes.
Culture means a lot. Again, we saw that with the Warriors. We saw it with the Bucks last year.
Absolutely.
And so that's what it all comes down to. Quite a few comments here. Let's see. John, who hopefully might be joining us at some point during the show. He says they're not trading Booker. I don't think they are either. Grady says they can't move Booker. Guy is the best player on that squad. Well, I will say this.
Kevin Durant.
You're moving for Kevin Durant.
You're damn right.
You're moving for Kevin Durant.
You move his ass to Brooklyn.
Yes. Mike Guida, our guy Mike, he says Westbrook, THT, 5 first-round picks, and a 20% stake in the franchise for KD and Kyrie. I know Windhorst said something about
a nuclear deal. Yes.
Yeah, that would be, oh my gosh.
Listen, I would be all for that, Bryson. If that happens, sign me up. Put KD on a plane to LA, put Kyrie on that plane as well, and you send AD and Russ on a bus. You send them on a bus to Brooklyn. Don't put them on a plane. Send them on a bus.
Man, that would be insane if that were to happen. But
what do you think about this one here, Bryson?
Okay.
Anthony Simons gets $100 million from the Blazers. 4 years, $100 million. That is a lot. He's good.
He is.
But $100 million for that kid.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Look, he's athletic. He's a solid scorer, not a great one. We're gonna really get to see really a full season with Damian Lillard.
Right.
How well he fits with that group and what they're trying to do. Portland's the one team. I'm not sure what Portland's objective is right now. Dame is staying, but they're still not even close to being a legit contender. Obviously, they added Jeremy Grant. I thought they had a solid draft.
Wow, Lou Dort just got some big money.
Oh, wow, he did get some big money.
5 years, $87.5 million to stay with the Thunder. Wow.
I like that kid, man.
He's good.
Play defense.
He's good.
He could shoot the three.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. Ryan O'Neill's in the comments. He says KD to the Heat sound good. And I think it would be a good fit. Only thing is, and by the way, Victor Oladipo did sign a 1-year, $11 million deal to stay with Miami.
Right.
That one surprised me a little bit because I was reading reports saying that there's a chance that he was probably more likely to leave.
I thought that there would be a bigger market for him, but I guess he stayed. Maybe he knows something that we don't.
It's possible. It's possible because Again, Miami has the assets. And I said on my show after the Miami Heat season ends, I said they're going to do something big in the offseason. Whether it was
Right.
Bradley Beal, well, that's off the table now with the Wizards deal.
Yeah.
They're going to make something happen with the assets they have, the draft picks. And Pat Riley is the evil mastermind. He's going to make something happen. And so I think with Miami, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, you're talking about a set culture, a Hall of Fame coach. I think Eric Spoelstra's a Hall of Fame coach.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Butler. Here's the only thing I worry about. Jimmy Butler ain't afraid to get in people's business. So he got so bad. He was like, I think, legitimately getting into Cat and Andrew Wiggins' head in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Intimidation, man. He's an intimidating guy. He really
How's
is.
that going to work with Kevin Durant? Because we know. Listen, I'll say this real quick about Draymond Green. I'm actually repping the greatest podcast in the world right now. He said,
the All Even podcast. Is that what it is?
Okay, it's second to the All Even podcast. It's second. But the thing is with Draymond and Jimmy Butler, Draymond gets your business, but I think off the court, Draymond's he's a cool dude. He's you go out, spend time with his family. I think Jimmy Butler's kind of an old school type of guy.
Yes, he is. He's intense 24/7.
Yeah. So I don't know if that would work with Kevin Durant, knowing how sensitive that he can be. Mike says, get KD to OKC and team him up with Chet. Nothing but arms on that team. That's a fact.
Arms and legs. Well, listen, if KD's going to OKC, Chet will be in that deal going back to Brooklyn.
Yes. No, KD ain't going back to OKC. That'd be interesting. Ryan O'Neal, LeBron need to come back with the Heat to the Heat with KD. That would be I don't even know how that's even possible.
That would be insane if it were to happen. If we're gonna live in that fantasy bubble, that would be nuclear.
Jimmy would be out of there. Dwayne Dedman's staying with the Heat, by the way. Let's see. Mike says Bradley Beal is the most boring player in the history of sports.
I mean, he may be boring, but he's very efficient, and I'll take it. Damian Jones agrees to a 2-year deal with the Lakers.
I like Damian Jones.
We've been chasing that kid for years, so glad that he got to go to the Lakers. That's exactly what he wanted to be. So that's a good deal. Tyus Jones is returning to the Grizzlies on a 2-year, $30 million deal. So that's $15 a year.
I like that.
He's
He's
solid,
a good backup point guard. I thought he played well when Ja went out in the playoffs. Against the Warriors, especially that Game 5 when they blitzed my team.
Right.
Again, he's a different sort of player from Ja.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice change of pace. See if we got anything else. Okay, they're showing the Anthony Simons deal again. We're just like looking at Twitter, ESPN.
Yeah. We have Isaiah Hartenstein signs with the Knicks, 2 years, $18 million. That's a decent pickup for them.
Wow.
So that might mean that Mitchell Robinson might be gone.
Yeah, there's been some bad blood, I think, between he and the Knicks organization, this past year or so.
Yeah.
Again, he wasn't really even when the Knicks had that surprise season a couple of years back and made the playoffs. He was, due to injury, he wasn't much of a huge piece in that. Maybe that sort of caused a little bit of the divide. Let's see. Again, we're just following the Kevin Durant sort of situation. I know Windhorst said something like he wouldn't be. What'd you say? He said something like that he wouldn't be shocked if a KD deal was done before the end of the day.
Yeah, because of how rapid things have picked up. He said that half the league is calling Sean Marks, but
of course,
that's the thing is that Sean Marks, if he's having half the league call him, there's so many different packages and there's so many different anglings that he can do. Okay, well, this team is offering me this. What can you do? Can you match that? Blah, blah, blah. So that's why I don't think that it's going to end. We're going to get a resolution today within the next couple of days. Maybe it heats up over the night, overnight, and tomorrow morning or the day after, we'll see something. But, I would be shocked to see a deal done today. I would.
Yeah. And that's, look, this is kind of a punch to the gut. Although Woj did say earlier that this doesn't come as like a huge shock to the Brooklyn Nets, because of the fact that, that Kevin Durant hasn't been taught. We had heard the reports that he hadn't talked to the organization since they got swept by Boston.
Right.
So you have that, sort of thing going. I think what it comes down to with Kevin is and I will give him a little bit of a pass here. Look, nobody saw COVID coming.
No.
And so the fact that Kyrie is in this position where he obviously refused to get vaccinated, doesn't get vaccinated. Now KD is in a real sort of like impossible position. Let's see. Mike says, I don't think Sean Marks takes a deal in day one if that many teams are calling. I agree. I agree because look, you got to sleep on it. You got to, sort of say, okay, where is our organization going? Are they giving up a star player to where, hey, maybe we can still be a playoff team? Or are we just going to fully commit to this rebuild? Remember the situation that Oklahoma City was in a couple of years ago when they got Chris Paul, and everybody's assuming, okay, they're going to get off to a rough start, trade Chris, and then go all in.
Right.
Well, the young kids played well with Chris, and they made the playoffs, and then they traded Chris, and then went into the rebuild. So, and Mike says that haul needs to be enormous for KD. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about one of the, I said number 6, but we're talking about one of the 10 best players on earth right now. So, Grady asks, any chance Ben Simmons is moved as a part of a Kyrie or Ben Simmons KD deal?
No way. No chance. That's the only piece that they're going to keep.
Because at the end of the day, you gave up you gave up Harden, you gave up Seth Curry,
right?
For I'm sorry, actually they got Seth Curry in the Simmons deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the fact that they had so many assets just 2-3 years ago,
and now they have nothing.
They have nothing.
Yeah.
Man, this is about as.
This is why you do not give power to people who don't deserve it.
Nope.
Simple.
Not at all.
Simple. Just simple, man. They said Thaddeus Young 2-year deal with the Toronto Raptors. 2 years, $16 million.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's ready, we got a third guest joining Carving Up Live, the free agency show. Would you please welcome John Rivera of the Fan Perspective Podcast? What's up, John?
What's up, gentlemen? What's going on?
What's going on, man?
A lot's going on. You got the. Well, let me before we get into any more deals. What's your reaction to the Kevin Durant news?
I mean, he finally speaking his truth. I guess you know what I mean. He's finally making his own decision and not somebody else's. Because Kyrie brought them to Brooklyn, you know what I mean. It wasn't KD.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, Jay, but they did say that there is a report out there that still says that they want to play together. I don't know how real it is, but Woj said that. So they're still pretty buddy in regards to where they want to go.
Nah, as far as playing, they still cool. But I'm talking about. He brought them to Brooklyn, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that aspect,
he did.
But but if you trade them both, I would think the trade package would be a little lower because now you got to take Kyrie and that headache.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. Yeah.
And the salary as well. So instead of 2 or 3 first-round picks, you might get 1 because you got to take Kyrie now. You know what I mean?
And it's not just the fact that we know the head case that Kyrie can be. It's the fact that now, and I read the Stephen A. Smith report earlier, Kyrie's going to Los Angeles next summer. And so it's just a 1-year rental. So that's a good point. If you are getting KD and Kyrie, I do think it's less of a package. Now, do the Nets see it that way? That's sort of where the disconnect could come in. Let's see, we got a few comments here. Mike Guido says, may actually favor the Nets to trade KD and Kyrie separately. Yes, Kyrie could dampen KD's value, the point that you made, John.
Exactly.
But I didn't think about that, but I think that's a great point. Gray says, at least the Nets got 1 playoff series win out of it, guys. Basically what they got out of Paul Pierce and KG. That's,
right.
That's what it was, really.
That's crazy. You got to think they probably had 3 of the top 20 players at the time on their roster. Maybe even top 10, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
On their roster, man, and they're going to end up with none of them in a matter of a year and a half.
Love it.
Harden
played
a year and a half and was gone. Let's stay through a third year. KD sat the first year due to an injury. And then, Kyrie with his situations off and on the court.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, though, man. But, hey, I'm with it. My guys did all their moves last year, so we kind of set with that. We got pieces here and there. So.
It's all about healthier Chicago Bulls. So that's what it's all about. I don't know if they're even healthier. They're gonna compete with the top teams, but they're right there somewhere in that mix. So they can be able to add some veteran role players or something like that. They got a shot. Man. So but me personally,
Yeah.
Watching the Nets burn, this may be one of the greatest days of my life because I said it. I knew this was gonna happen. This is why I'm so happy about it, because everybody was like, "Oh no, it's going to work." Basketball is a very simple game. It's when all of these other things complicated. When you have guys with these type of personalities and you have an organization that is run like a daycare center that doesn't watch the kids, that has no leadership, this is what you get.
Right.
This is what you get. And this is exactly what I knew would happen. Everybody talking about Sean Marks, he's one of the best GMs. Okay, he is, until he's at the beck and call of three guys that do not know what it takes to actually lead a franchise.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's a mixture of everything. But you got to think, since the Nets been in Brooklyn, this is like their second time, like giving up all their assets and going all in and having to be rebuilt, because they did it with KG and Paul Pierce.
But yet, Nets fans will laugh at Knicks fans for doing it, right?
Nah,
and you guys are right. The Brooklyn is right there with the Knicks in regards to how futile they do things and how inept they are in regards to their particular decisions. This ranks all time for me. Like for just think about it, I think a year ago we're talking about the greatest collection of talent we've ever seen on a basketball court.
Right.
And fast forward, we're about to see a graveyard in Brooklyn. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, it goes, shit. If you were a Brooklyn fan, you was like, yeah, I'm all in. You know what I mean?
Do they have those?
I don't know. They fake. They fake. Brooklyn
they have Brooklyn fans, because every time I go to the Barclays, I know one guy that's a Brooklyn fan. Everybody else is kind of like, it's that hippie crowd downtown Brooklyn. They go to the game because they can be able to take selfies and IG posts and stuff like that. They're not real fans.
That too.
Well, you actually went to the game where my Warriors played the Nets, and that was Dub Nation.
Oh, that was a very telling game for me to kind of spearhead what we're seeing now.
Right.
I remember that game like it was yesterday. I turned to my man. I said, "Is this the offense that you guys run all the time? Just have KD set up behind the 3-point line and dribble past everybody?" I said, if this is the case, he's going to wear down by the end of the season. And lo and behold, what do we see in the first round of the playoffs with the Celtics? He wore down.
He did.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think if they would have hired a good coach, man, it would probably been a little different too, I think, man.
They should have hired Jacques Vaughn and made Steve Nash the lead assistant. They should. That's what they should have did.
Anybody, because you can't bring that type of. You got to have a strong head coach with them personalities, man. Especially with Kyrie. You know what I mean? You bring that much of talent, you got to have a good.
Guido's reporting something. Jay, hold on.
Let me go and put this up here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The Heat have reportedly sent a trade offer to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. Okay.
Wow.
So I'll tell you what this tells you, though. Donovan Mitchell's more of a priority than Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah. I think they're looking at fit. They might be saying the same thing that you're saying, Bryson, that we may want him, but Jimmy Butler, I don't know. this may end bad. We have some great stability here in regards to Pat Riley and Spoelstra, but you might not be able to contain that bear.
No.
Right. But what the trade package will look like?
I mean, you gotta have Tyler. Yeah, you gotta have Tyler Hero in there. You gotta have Duncan Robinson in there. You gotta have a couple of picks in there. That has to start with that.
We'll see. Oladipo, go ahead.
Yeah, you have to start with. Like I said, Hero is definitely in there. And we was talking about on our podcast that's coming out, and we was just saying, Duncan got to be traded because he's supposed to be one of the great shooters out here.
And he's making a lot of money.
He's making $85 million,
right? A lot of money, yeah.
He barely saw the court, man. Like, barely saw the court. So it's something that, Eric Spoelstra sees that he's not believing in them anymore. So he's definitely got to get out in there. So you got two sharpshooters.
You know what it is with Pat Riley, Jay, is that he will chase the stars if it's the right stars for him.
Yes.
So, that's the thing with him. He has no problem giving up assets as long as it's the right guy.
Right.
Change of course here. Gray asked the comments because this is something I did want to talk about with you guys.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Murray to Atlanta trade? They're definitely a factor or the threat in the East now, in my opinion. Great under the radar move. It is definitely. First of all, you're right about it being under the radar now that today has happened. I like it because now you're putting a backcourt together of two all-star level guys. You got two guys that can play pretty well off the ball. Because here's the thing about Trae Young is him being, the ball dominant guy so much. I think you mentioned sort of this about Kevin Durant. It can wear him down a little bit.
Right.
And so, again, I like the deal. They didn't give up a ton to give him. Now, I mean, they traded Gallinari, who, by the way, was released by the Spurs today.
Yeah.
So, but I'll let you start, Bear. What's your thoughts on this deal?
The thing with me is that I like the deal for Atlanta. It's an easy trade to make 10 times out of 10. But I am not going to say, oh, they're going to be something special in the East. I need to see it. I need to see how they complement each other. I need to see how DeJounte Murray is going to be used. Are they going to use him as the one? Are they going to use him as the hybrid two? How are they going to be able to incorporate that? Are they going to be able to mask Trae Young's defensive deficiencies to be able to be good enough to compete with these high-octane teams in the East? Because every team in the East has big-time firepower. Milwaukee, we call it Boston, Philadelphia, all the Chicago. You got to put Chicago up there. These teams now you got the Knicks with Brunson, and they have some young pieces. So there's a lot of firepower here. Is that enough to protect and shield Trae Young from the onslaught of offensive players that are in the Eastern Conference at that position? So we have to see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what anything, even like you said, KD, Kyrie, and Harden, you have to see, obviously. But if we're just looking at it, man, this like Atlanta hit it out the park, man. Like, come on, Gardenary, they're getting bought out, whatever. The draft picks, you got to think when you're aiming for the Sun, them draft picks gonna be in the 20s or late 18. So them players ain't really, other than like Draymond and other players like that, they're not gonna be as worthy as a top 10 pick. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so they definitely hit it out of the park, man. I think they're gonna be. Listen, it was already high scoring, man. So this definitely gonna be up tempo. I think they should stay with Collins another year because they can get some draft picks for him. But I would keep Collins there another year and see what you could do from that, and then trade him next year. But yeah, I definitely love the pick, man. I think I could see like top 4 in the East, maybe top 5 easily. Because there was that before him, so they actually got the same team. They didn't give up on anything, so I definitely like the pick, man. Definitely, so far they won it. As far as trades wise, they definitely won so far.
Yeah.
More times than not, look, the team that gets the better player usually wins the trade. Like that's the only rare cases of where that's not been. The situation is like we mentioned the Brooklyn Nets with the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett trade. Like Boston fleeced them because of the guys that they ended up getting with those draft picks. The thing with Atlanta for me is that now Brooklyn's out of the mix. Now they're out of the way now. And so what you're looking at is, can they compete? Barry, you mentioned, can they compete with the teams like Milwaukee, Boston, Miami? Again, I still think we're going to have a Pat Riley special come up at some point.
It's coming.
It is. And this was an Atlanta team, like you said, 2 years ago, that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. They dismantled the Knicks in the first round. They, Ben Simmons, you could argue the reason they beat Philadelphia was Trae Young played well, yes, although he was terrible in Game 7. But Ben Simmons completely fell apart, and Joel Embiid kind of disappeared in a playoff series once again. So, look, if they're the type of team that's going to need to get a lot of breaks, I think, to get back there again. I don't think talent alone can get them there. I mean, look, I like their head coach. I like their depth. I thought they've done a good job in the draft the last couple of years. And John Collins, like you mentioned, John is sort of the wild card right now. What are they going to do with him? There's sort of, I think, a disconnect between he and the organization. Look, he's an excellent rebounder, good defender. Can score a little bit here and there. So we'll see, but I like the deal for the Atlanta Hawks. I know Cleveland was pursuing him as well, but look, Atlanta did get in the playoffs this past season with basically no John Collins and obviously no DeJounte Murray, so they got better yesterday. So
absolutely, Chris Boucher, he re-signs with the Raptors as well. They gave him a 3-year, $35 million deal, so good for him.
Nice.
I like him.
I've been offline for like the last hour, 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
It was my son's birthday, so we was at the water park. But,
Oh man, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Good luck. But what's the how the free agents been looking though? Who you been surprised with?
Not really surprised. I mean, Malik Monk, he's an NBA Siberia right now. He signed with the Sacramento Kings, 2 years, $20 million for him.
Yeah, he had to get that check.
And that's good for him. In regards to him trying to take a pay cut to stay in LA, that'd have been nice, but get your money.
Right.
We were talking about Anthony Simons getting $100 million from the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah,
all the big stars signed their supermax extension. So we talk about Jokic. We're talking about Booker.
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal signed back with the Wizards.
You signed back, okay.
Yeah. So
Lou Dort got paid.
Yeah, Lou Dort got paid $87 million from the Thunder. Mo Bamba went back to the Magic on a 2-year deal. So nothing significantly shocking right now. Yeah, nothing special. Just kind of status quo, honestly.
All right. Yeah, I like the Mo Bamba for the Bulls. I know we, I was hearing, I beat.
Yeah, Lakers, Bulls were linked to him. Yep. But he decided, he was able to get a little bit more money from the Magic.
I'm surprised. I heard y'all say Oladipo signing back in Miami.
Yeah,
so
1 year.
That one caught us off guard too.
So fast. I'd at least thought he'd have, check the market out, see how it is. You know what I mean, and go from there. But I think he's going back, to come back next year and try it again, I guess.
It was like I was saying to Bryson, he may know something that we don't. So, we'll see.
All right.
I like this one. This is going to be an under the radar signing. Amir Coffey, 3 years, $11 million to the Clippers. I thought he played well. The Clippers were decimated by injuries last year. So I think bringing him back, I thought he played well, sort of in a lesser role. Obviously, they brought in John Wall, which was a good pickup. Obviously, Kawhi, Paul George coming back healthy.
Very good pickup.
I said this, and Draymond actually kind of echoed the other day. I think the Clippers are the Warriors' biggest threat in the West. I really believe that. When you look at, obviously, we know about the 2 stars and we know about John Wall, but depth and Ty Lue isn't exactly Doc Rivers in the playoffs either. So he holds dudes accountable. Not that Doc doesn't, but Ty Lue is a no BS type of guy. So I think it's a good fit.
The biggest threat against the Warriors is the health. It's health, man. And all the teams, man.
Okay, so
everything.
Wendy just reported.
Let's go.
That Kyrie is focused on forcing his way to the Lakers.
I don't think he has to force his way, though.
Oh, yeah. He has to let people know that he's not going anywhere else, and this has to be an exclusive window to make this deal happen. So, Rob Pelinka, you're not listening to me, but you'll hear me eventually. Trade that 27 and trade that 29. F them picks, man.
You ain't gonna need those.
We don't gonna need those. We can always get those when we trade AD after we blow it up. So we can get those picks back.
So you got
that's a good one. Go ahead, Bryson.
Mike Guidos' report. Here's one for you, John. Gallinari looks to be deciding between Chicago and Boston. For
nice.
I'll take him.
I thought Milwaukee would be a great pickup, but I think signing back Portis, I don't think that there's an actual fit for him there. So him going on Chicago, I think Boston more than anything needs him. Boston needs him. They need a stretch guy. Horford is good, but he's getting up there in age. You need another guy that can be able to stretch the defense out. So that would be a good addition for Boston because they need guys that can put the ball in the basket. They don't need defenders. They need bucket getters. That's what they need.
I hear you, and I'm a Bulls fan, and I will concur the same thing. We need to stretch 3-4 person to come off the bench and score because you got all the scores, but then Caruso come off the bench, and then after that, Patrick Williams is still adjusting. He's more of a defensive player, so we need that stretch forward to come off the bench. And, even play in the fourth quarter, clutch, because he did was clutch in the playoffs for the Hawks, won them a game or two. So
Right.
He did. John, let's see. He's got a comment down here. We'll get to his Cleveland comment in just a second. Minnesota has also made Gallinari an offer.
Nice.
I would take Boston or Chicago over Minnesota right now if I'm Danilo Gallinari. I think he fits better with those two teams. And
talking about Minnesota, man, is Cat worth that supermax that he's gonna get?
Signed it?
I think you have to give it to him. You have to give it to him. If you're Minnesota, I mean,
don't really
what
have
are you?
choice.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Minnesota.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
Minnesota.
if you trade a guy like that, you're just gonna get back pieces, and it's just gonna put you back in the situation where you've been in the last 10 years. So you might as well just sign him, see what happens. You know, they're building a decent core over there. Can they be able to make some noise in the Western Conference more in regards to putting themselves up there in the top 4, top 5? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, they definitely but yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
No, go ahead.
Nah, but I say it's not like I said, it's gonna be interesting, man. Like you said, you got to see
Marvin
Brooklyn
Bagley.
What do you got? You got a bag?
Oh, that's a ton of money for Marlon Bagley.
Oh my! But
No. It's right. It's right.
It's Detroit. What do you expect?
It's a right. What's that, like 12.5 a year? That's about right these days.
Yeah,
That's
about
about
12
right.
million.
That's about right these days. That's about right these days.
That's a lot of money for a man. I don't know.
I think he still had his ceiling, but
you see my face.
I don't know if he's going to hit his ceiling though, John.
That's why
We haven't seen it yet.
When we talking about bad teams, Detroit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to talk about a shit franchise? They are one of the. They're definitely one of them consistently.
Yes.
But I think they're trending in the right direction if they keep up the same formula they've been doing the last.
Now with signing guys like Marvin Bagley, you're not.
Not with that one.
They've been drafting well, but
for every Jaden Ivey you draft, you sign Marvin Bagley. Give me a break.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh goodness. Chris Haynes reported it. Chris Haynes is a good source too.
He is.
Yeah. That's another Duke failure for you.
Guido says Okoro, Sexton, Agbaji, Osman, Levert, Windler, etc. A lot of bodies at that spot. Talking about they have pieces to go get a star type player. A little jam at the wing.
Oh yeah. I think Cleveland. I think Cleveland does well. Listen, they have talent, man. They can if they can be able to put a package together and go get somebody who we weren't even thinking about. That would be interesting because I like what they have. I like their coach. I like the system that they're running over there. I think Cleveland is going to be one of those teams that people say, I'm growing on them, or they're growing on me. I think I like them as a team. I'm looking to root for them a little bit more because they have some good bodies over there. They got some good players.
No, right. No, respectfully, they definitely prove everybody wrong. They got some good talent, but just like you just was saying, Kyrie forcing his way to LA. When somebody a big star here, they going to Cleveland. I don't think they'll agree with that trade. Respectfully, though, like I said, they building something though.
Yeah,
something for sure.
I'll say this though, Kobe Altman, their general manager, he was going to go down in history as the second GM to lose LeBron James in Cleveland, and
he's done a good job.
He has.
He's done a good job, man.
Draft picks and
they got talent.
They talking about Cleveland should be in on Donovan.
Well, Guido, he's a Cavs fan, so of course.
I don't know. I don't think that'd be a phenomenal fit.
Listen, there's no way that Donovan's not going from Mormon, Utah to Cleveland. He's not doing it. If he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go from Mormon, Utah to New York or Chicago or one of these places like that. He's not going.
Yeah, the views are better in Utah. The views are better.
Oh, sure. Lord, yes. Beautiful state. It is.
But Cleveland should have made that run if they want to make. Like I said, they ain't gonna be the superstar, but that second tier, like Murray, would have been a good fit over there with Cleveland.
Bagley,
you know what I mean?
Goodness,
you still haven't gotten over that.
Still on that.
It's not.
Like I said, it's about average, man. That's average.
Tastes like it felt like Brussels sprouts.
Patty Mills is coming back to the Nets.
Okay, so he opted out to get more money. Good for him.
2-year, $14.5 million.
Good for him. So he got a little raise. Good for him.
I'm surprised he didn't want to, at this advanced stage of his career, and the fact that he was a contributor to a championship team in 2014, that he wouldn't go elsewhere.
Yeah, he probably just see the opportunity that's coming, that he's going to get more playing time.
There's going to be a lot of opportunity with nobody there.
Right, nobody
that's
there.
A fact.
And then you got to think, he signed, get the money, right?
Yeah.
And then at the trade deadline, what they going to do? Oh, he's a valuable player.
There you go.
Contender.
There you go.
That's true.
He's thinking
Patty Mills is using his noggin, man.
Absolutely.
The Aussie.
Yep.
Come from the Spurs.
Mike says, yeah, but Cleveland has a river that caught on fire. How can you beat that?
So on fire for a reason.
Reminds me of Tennessee. Reminds me of Knoxville a little bit. We had a river that caught on fire a few years ago. It was a disaster.
Oh, my goodness.
course, just about everything we do in Knoxville is a disaster when it comes to football. But we're recruiting well. Grady said, any thoughts on what the Knicks are doing? I actually like their moves. They're being patient and building something. I don't know if they're building something.
I don't like the
but
move. I potentially think that Jalen Brunson, as good as he is, he's not Van Fleet to me. Van Fleet is a special young, small guy. Brunson to me is this is an overpay, and I just hope that this doesn't bite the Knicks in the butt, because the one thing that I've always said, and I'm very, very adamant on in regards to any sport, this is like across the board. You do not pay a guy based on their contract year. You just don't do it. You don't do it because 9 times out of 10, they don't give you that production that you're expecting for that big contract. So, they normally play to their averages. So, you got to be careful. Buyer beware in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, money-wise, I didn't like it. I mean, but like I said, today's NBA, that second tier is getting 25 a year, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So you got to consider him in that second tier. What Van Fleet getting? That same amount of money?
But yeah, about the same, maybe a little more.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, reasonable wise, like I said, he's on the second tier. Knicks had to do something. He had all the connections there, so
right.
I think it made sense. You know what I mean? I'm happy for them because they needed a guard over there. And like I said, being patient. I still think they got one card that they're trying to pull, but they're trying to wait on it. So they might be in that Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes as well. But
listen, the Knicks have the pieces to go get Mitchell if they wanted to.
That's what
the
I'm
question
saying.
is if they want to. They have a lot of assets that they can be able to trade. Quigley, right. They can be able to put some pieces together there. So we'll see.
They got a ton of draft picks.
Yeah,
a ton of draft picks. I was hearing today. Like you said, do quickly, maybe Obi.
Yeah, they got 9 more at draft night, so they got a ton. Yeah. They got a ton of them because they didn't make those trades.
Yeah, 3 first rounders and start from there. I will come to them with that. I got 3 first rounders quickly and Toppin.
If I'm Utah, I'm definitely dealing with the Knicks, getting those picks. I'm shipping Rudy Gobert. Maybe I can ship Rudy Gobert to NBA Siberia as well. Get whatever you can from there. Maybe send him to NBA Transylvania, OKC, get some picks there. So
they got the picks.
Oh yeah.
They got too many.
Exactly.
Too many picks.
They don't have enough spaces for those players.
They don't. They really don't. They really don't.
Van Vliet actually got less than
he got less. Okay.
Van Vliet's getting about $21 million a year.
Okay. So I mean, that's the market. Obviously, the market has increased a little bit. Yeah.
Let's see. Guido, Jayshawn Tate, 3 years, $22 million to go back to Houston.
Jayshawn Tate, he's a solid player. I like him.
Yeah. I like him too. Yeah.
Grady said, I really like Jalen Brunson. It could be one of those situations where he just needs an opportunity to show what he can do. Reminds me of Harden and OKC. Similar situation in some ways. Well, the thing about I read his camp basically believes that, the fact that he's had to play with a ball-dominant player in Luka Doncic, and this could turn some free agents off of the Dallas Mavericks, throughout the years as we go forward because of the fact that Luka is so ball-dominant.
Yes.
And so that's why it's going to be interesting to see what second star they're going to put around Luka, because obviously they added Christian Wood via trade, Spencer Dinwiddie. We'll see how that goes. But a true number 2 to Luka. Barry, what do you think that looks like with a guy do you think Luka will have to change the way he plays, or do you think it's going to be someone else?
I think that he doesn't have to change the way he plays. I think the way Dallas is going to have to approach it is kind of like how Cleveland approached it with LeBron James, not comparing the two players, but they're so ball dominant that what you do is you surround a guy like that with shooters, and you get a guy that's the complete opposite of him. So the fact that LeBron James I wouldn't call LeBron a wing player. He's more like a mid player that can be able to play down in the box, can be able to stretch the defense. Luka is a little bit like that as well. So if you can get somebody like an Anthony Davis, you need a big man that can be able to really dominate, and you can have that 2-man game that's really, 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 really potent.
What about you, John?
Yeah, like I said, if you've been following me, I think Bradley Beal is perfect match with Luka, man. You know what I'm saying? Off the ball, he's a shooter, man. Because like you said, he needs to surround him by shooters. Yeah. Or like I said, just maybe get like a hero, Duncan Robinson, them type of players. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Just set up. I'm gonna
Right.
dribble, do what I do. I can score, but I'm gonna pick it off, make that three. And you see, that's what Finley was doing. You know, he just was inconsistent with his, but
Right.
yeah.
We got a little update on the KD situation. According to, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, John Gambadoro, he is reporting that the Boston Celtics are trying to get Kevin Durant. So, you know what people are going to say, though.
Of
This will be the
course.
second time that KD joins a team that beat. They got assets.
But who would they give up? So they would give up
They'd have to
Jalen
give up
Brown.
Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown and Marcus Smart, obviously.
Brown,
you gotta-
Smart.
Listen,
Robert Williams.
I gotta get Jalen Brown. Don't even call me if you ain't including Jalen Brown. That's what I would say personally.
Right, because if you have Simmons, Jalen Brown makes all the sense.
Hell yeah.
True.
That'd be great.
That's interesting.
Tatum and KD.
Tatum and KD is that's an odd fit. But see, the thing is, the one thing about KD is that he's really not an odd fit for anyone because of how good he is. He can operate in any offense. It's just about is the structure solid enough to contain that, because you got Tatum who's and now you have KD who's so
KD is on a different level than Tatum, though.
Well, I mean, like in regards to just mental, like they're not.
But
these guys are not leaders. You know what I mean? Like
they're not. But I will say this though about KD is, and part of this is just because he's obviously in this stage in his career, and Tatum is still young. But I think and I criticize this. Me and John talked in depth about it when he was on my show during the finals. Is the aggressiveness is not there with Tatum when when the game started to get out of hand. That's not the case with KD. KD is the greatest get a bucket type of player in the NBA. You need a bucket, you give it to Kevin Durant.
Absolutely.
Grady said the Celtics should not trade for Kevin Durant.
I agree. I don't think that they need him. I don't think that they need him. What they need is they need a lead guard. They need somebody that can be able to settle that team down when they're taking terrible shots, look them in the face and say, let's cool out. Let's do some smart stuff. Let's slow it down. Let's get some good sets here instead of dribble, shoot a bad shot, and then turn the ball over on the other end. Like they need somebody who can really be able to mold that offense and kind of slow it down, kind of give it some IQ. Because right now, Boston, they have talent, but they don't have much basketball IQ on the offensive end of the ball.
Right, yeah. If I was Brad Stevens, I'll probably be at Kyle Lowry door.
Well, we've said they need a true point guard.
Yeah, I mean that would be
Barry,
a nice
we got
fit.
one for you. We got one for you, Barry, for your Lakers. Lonnie Walker.
We got Lonnie Walker?
You did.
Hey! I heard that they had a nice market out for him. We got Lonnie Walker. I like that one.
First round pick from a few years ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You get some use. Finally.
You gonna cut it off like Lonnie did?
Nah, this stays, and I'm not gonna style it like Lonnie either. I'm not gonna do that.
1 year, $6.5 million.
That's good. So they gave him the taxpayer. Wow.
Yep.
That's a good pickup.
Okay. That is a good pickup.
I like that. That's solid.
That.
He's a good defender. He can shoot a little bit. He can play some point guard for you. I like that. I like that pick.
I want your opinion on this. You know, the Spurs was always the bounce back because they had Kawhi after Duncan, right?
Yes.
And then Kawhi got him to get LaMarcus over there, Aldridge. You know what I mean? Then they got lucky and got Murray, but now what's the faith over there in Spurs?
Well, they're in a rebuild. If there's one thing that I don't worry about the Spurs, it's about finding talent. No, I mean they always they are a great place to develop young talent that you don't really know what their potential is. Like when DeJounte Murray got drafted, everybody was just like, okay, but look what he developed into because of that system over there. So you know, there's somebody in the wings that in a couple of years we're gonna be like, man, we had no idea that kid was there. Like the Primo kid, I like him. I like the Primo kid that he can play. You know, now is he going to develop into somebody who's big time? I don't know. We have to see. But the Spurs, you never have to worry about the Spurs. At some point, a rebuild was coming. They're gonna have some bad years, but in those bad years, they're definitely gonna develop some nice young talent.
Lakers just signed somebody else. Troy Brown Jr. has agreed to go with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, another big wing defender, can pass, play multiple positions. You can play him at the 1, 2, 3, or the 4. I like it.
About time y'all get young. Gee whiz.
Hey, just cut it out.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I told you it's the old team last year.
Yeah, no.
We had no choice. We had Russ. Nobody else wanted to come.
Yeah,
Nobody else wanted to come.
Other than Melo, you gotta bring Melo back though. Melo was good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now, I think we do bring Melo back. I think there's a wink deal to give Melo back.
Yeah. Other than that, like you said, you got to sign the guys like I just did, the younger players. You know what I mean?
I'm very happy with those deals.
Yeah, versatile players.
Those are two good deals. I like it.
I mean, I understand Kyrie is trying to force, but if I'm the Nets, I'd be like, man, forget you.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can be able to get draft picks for a guy that's not going to play for you. You got to take it. Because if he walks for nothing, because every team is going to know, why am I going to give you draft picks if he's going to go to LA next season anyway? They have cap space. They can be able to sign him outright next season. So there's no reason for me to give you anything. The Lakers are giving you something. You got to take it. It's just like AD. He slimmed the market down and said, I am not going anywhere if it's not Lakers. And every team said, we don't want no parts of this. We're out because we know he's going to go there anyway. So
listen, if I'm to Brooklyn, I'll be like, you know what? You causing all this friction, right? And we're going to get it way draft picks and all that. Do they own this year's draft pick or no?
Which one
coming up?
No,
year, Brooklyn. No. Oh, okay. Then my theory goes out the window because I'd have been like, hey Ben, keep on rehabbing. Kyrie, you sit your butt down. We're gonna trade Durant, and we're just gonna tank this year and get a high draft pick. if I'm the owner, I would have did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they don't own their pick. Then you give them somebody else their high draft pick. But that's what I would have did personally. I would have been like, you screwing me, I'm gonna screw you now. We'll pay you. Don't worry about it. You got it.
I hear you.
High draft pick, but not now. You got to get something now. Yeah,
got to get something for him.
It's the offseason story that never gets old. According to Tim Reynolds, the Miami Heat are planning to meet with Udonis Haslem to make a free agent pitch.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. They need to just make Udonis Haslem an assistant GM or something because but you know what it is? He has value.
He does.
He has value because of that locker room leadership. He's actually an additional assistant coach. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So, it has value. It's just like when the Lakers won their championship. They really did not take into account how much Jared Dudley meant to that locker room. And you see Jared Dudley as an assistant coach there with the Dallas Mavericks. You saw a different team because of the professionalism that they bring. Those guys, they just have magic when it comes to knowing how to get through the players. So those things are very, very underrated, and they shouldn't be. A lot more teams should be looking at guys that put the locker room together. Baseball does this all the time. They bring in locker room guys. Basketball needs to start doing this more.
Right. So just make him an assistant, I guess. I don't
know. Give him a player/assistant type of contract.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at his announcement about it. Like that's what.
Right.
No point.
Like it's breaking news, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't even announce it. Don't even know Udonis Haslem news until he retires.
Right. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you.
That's why I'm laughing.
So I'm over here waiting like breaking news. What's going on here?
That's what I'm saying.
Grady asked. He says, "At what point will Pop step away?" I'm hearing reports this could be it this year.
I think this is it. I think Quinn Snyder may be the heir apparent.
You've been beating that drum.
Yeah, that I'm still gonna beat that drum. I think Quinn Snyder's gonna take a year off and go right back to San Antonio.
I can see that.
I was just about to ask, is he on a coaching staff? So
no. He just took a year off. He's taking a year off. So I will see that because Greg Popovich loves Quinn Snyder. I think Udoka would have stayed a little longer, but I don't think that he could have passed up that Boston situation.
Nah.
You know, when you have good situations like that, waiting on this one is cool, but I think that was the best choice for Ime. So
wasn't Udoka with Brooklyn last year? He went to San Antonio, then to Brooklyn, didn't he?
That's true. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
But
but what I'm saying is that he could have probably went back to San Antonio. He could have just waited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have just stayed for another year as an assistant and just waited. So, you know.
Pop don't got nobody else on the bench that you think he'll
I mean, Becky Hammond was there before she
doing
left.
a heck of a job with the Aces in the WNBA.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I said that like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm like, she's going to replace
You know who would have been a good coach if he actually wanted it? Tim Duncan, but I just don't think he wants it.
You think he'd be a good coach?
I think so. I think he has a temperament for it.
Well, he's definitely got the temperament. It's just a matter of if he can help these guys develop.
You know who I thought was going to be a head coach in the NBA did? I think was it Jay Wright from Villanova? Is that?
It's not. It's still a possibility.
I thought he would have got a head coaching job in the NBA.
Still a possibility.
Well, he's definitely taken this year off. He wanted to spend time with family.
Okay,
but that's. No, I wouldn't rule that out at all.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where he's trying to find the right deal. So if he may be, Spurs may want to make a splash like that. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I thought Charlotte would have offered something.
Charlotte. I said on my show,
that didn't make any sense. That
at all. If you're gonna go with somebody, if Kenny Atkinson is not gonna take the job, just give it to D'Antoni. At least D'Antoni is gonna make that team exciting. He's gonna take LaMelo Ball to another level in regards to a point guard, ball handler, and they're gonna be in the playoffs. They won't win a championship, but at least they'll be in the playoffs. Steve Clifford does not move the needle at all for this team.
No.
So it's just. But what do you expect? It's Charlotte.
Yeah, but D'Antoni didn't get the job because your Kupchak is the GM. He already did that with LA.
Well, I mean, this is a better team for D'Antoni to coach, other than that disaster team that they signed him in LA with. That team was terrible that he got in LA. It's terrible.
Yeah, you can say that with the Knicks. You can say that with Houston. You can say that with a lot. D'Antoni's a good coach.
Houston was a good fit because of the pieces that they had. That's why they got to where they got to. Knicks didn't have any talent. The Lakers had old talent. This is another young team that D'Antoni would have been able to take to another level. So that's the only reason why I would have loved that for the kids over there.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some comments here. Grady says hopefully the Lakers add Blake Griffin. I've heard that he's interested in going to.
I don't want him.
The Clippers.
No,
dude's getting DNPs during him and LaMarcus.
He can't even move. Why would I want him? No.
Remember that game 4 they put him in against Boston and he looked like he was about to die out there.
No, just running in quicksand. No.
Lakers can't do that. Like you said, all young. Other than Melo, get all younger.
Get some. Yeah, that's why I love Damian Jones. Those are young legs. Guys are underrated shot blocker, underrated rebounder.
He's really good in the pick and roll too.
Right, great lob threat. Those are guys that you need, man. So no.
What happens with Ayton, man? Do you think he goes somewhere else, or he ends up?
I mean, listen,
maybe a sign and trade with Brooklyn.
He could have went to Detroit, but they just gave Marvin Bagley $37 million.
Why would he go to Detroit though?
I mean, because Detroit
drafted that center though from Memphis.
Yeah, it does, but he ain't ready yet.
No, I'm just saying, but that's why they was like, nah. They was like,
remember that?
They was out of the sweepstakes.
Remember that year that Detroit signed like 5 centers in free agency? They don't know what the hell they doing. They don't know what the hell they doing. So
I don't know. Like I said, I still like Portland for him, but you can get at a cheaper price though. Their center they have now.
Yeah, I don't know what the market is for Ayton right now. He may be a man without a country. Honestly,
it's a bad for centers in general though. But for him,
well, especially a center that's wanting a certain amount of money. Like I think the 15 million maybe is the limit. He wants more than that. I don't think any team is willing to give him $100 million contract. That's not going to happen.
Nah, he's worth more than 15.
Is he really?
I think so.
Who, Ayton?
Yeah.
He's absolutely worth more than 15.
Man.
Jalen Brunson getting 25. Yeah, he's worth more than 15.
He's leasing that 25 range.
If he
25 is where I cap it, but that's
right,
what I pay.
I would too. Right.
If he was worth more than 25, they would have already signed him.
They would have. I agree with you, but I'm saying 25 is where I put it though.
I don't see any other team doing that.
Speaking of centers, Nick Claxton, 2-year, $20 million to stay in Brooklyn. He was a restricted free agent, so that makes sense.
That's a good deal for Brooklyn. Nick Claxton is a good player. He's a good player.
Why not? Okay. Hey, man, sign and trade with Washington, man, and let Aiden play with Bill over there.
Yeah,
that'll be all right. That'll be all right.
Let's see. You got a few comments here. Grady, maybe Brooklyn should fire Steve Nash and just bring back Kenny Atkinson. I think that'd be. I mean, I'm not sure how that would go with between Atkinson and the front office for Brooklyn, considering that Katie and Kyrie were the guys who cost him his job. But maybe.
Terrible.
Listen,
but yeah, Steve Nash is not the guy.
They attached their horse to that wagon, and they got to see it through.
Yeah, this is last year. This is last year, though, regardless. With KD and Kyrie or without. This definitely last year. I don't think he'll be their coach next year. They might go somebody like Jay Wright from Villanova to make a splash.
I don't know if Jay Wright would go to Brooklyn, though.
Brooklyn is a dead zone. No one's going there. If you got Ben Simmons cheering on Twitter talking about he's excited. Dead zone.
Yeah, that was funny.
Dead zone.
That was funny. That was funny right there. I looked at it like, why are you posting this on?
Yeah, he happy now because he's gonna get all the shots and he's not gonna take them.
Be the man. Exactly.
Never.
He had all the shots and he ain't gonna take them.
Never forget, Ben Simmons. This is from how long is this ago? From like March. Talking about playing with Kyrie and KD. Quote: "It's gonna be scary."
That guy's a joker.
I can't stand him. I cannot stand Ben Simmons.
He's a joker.
Crazy. Yeah, he's very talented, but
he's a joker.
Dude don't care about basketball.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, he's talented, but he doesn't care about it.
Here's the thing.
He knows that's why he knows, like, when you know your talent, like, I can make money from playing basketball, so I'm gonna play basketball. Not because I love to play basketball.
Right.
I could make $30 million.
A lot of people are in that category.
Right.
You can say that about you can say that about Anthony Davis. You can say that about a lot of people. Yeah. So there's a lot of guys.
Speaking of somebody else, you could say that about James Harden and the 76ers are meeting on this meeting on the weekend to negotiate his new deal. According to Woj. So
that's a smart thing by James Harden for him to opt out. I think he'll take less money and probably get more years on the back end for it.
Right.
So, exactly. Just to give them a little bit more flexibility so they can be able to sign and add guys. And I heard that he's early in regards to his off-season workouts. So James Harden may actually come into training camp in shape.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If he does, the thing is, can he get the explosiveness back? Because we know that he had to reduce his scoring in Brooklyn to be more the primary distributor. Again, people got it mixed up. It was James who was the point guard, and it was Kyrie who was the number 2, the hybrid. But in Philadelphia, it wasn't. They needed him to score, and he couldn't create separation. A step back. Game 4 against Miami was the only game where I was like, okay,
because of the hamstring. And the thing of it is,
but he didn't put the time to heal in the hamstring.
Right. He didn't put the time in to heal the hamstring. The weight on top of that. So if he loses the weight, I think he'll take the pressure off of the hamstrings a bit. Is he going to have that same burst explosion? Maybe not, but just like Joel Embiid said, is that y'all think is the James Harden of old showed up here. That's not him. So maybe he's going to work on trying to change his game a little bit, use more angles and use more of his veteran, experience to try to get into certain spots. So we'll see. We'll see. He doesn't have the worst footwork in the world.
No,
he needs to do a little more in regards to getting to spots and not just settling for bad shots.
Right. Yeah, he's still a good player. Like you said, he's making his money up regardless. Like you said, if he was going to get a 4-year, now he's getting 5 years for, say, like $10 million less a year, maybe $7 million less a year. But you add another year, you're getting your money. So
exactly.
You know what I mean? But I guess he's recruiting PJ Tucker over there, I guess.
Speaking of the Miami Heat, who PJ Tucker played for last year, Barry Jackson, another Barry, said, this is hilarious. The Miami Heat are interested in Jay Crowder if they miss out on Kevin Durant. Yeah. You think?
Hey, he's a Heat type of player, man. He's a dog, so
He is. Well, he was there, a couple years ago when the Bucks.
He was there. He was there with the NBA Finals in the bubble. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's why they try to replace him with PJ Tucker. You know, he's the same type of player.
Yeah, let's see. Mike Guido, have you acknowledged the annual war between Woj and Shams? Who will come out victorious?
I got Shams winning this, man. I got Shams winning.
I've been a Woj guy for years, but man, Shams is
Shams is busting his ass right now.
He is. He did during the draft. Remember during the draft when that was great.
You got Woj out here breaking coaching news right after the games. He's just breaking kayfabe right now just to break stories. It's bad. He getting people in trouble. Like Woj out here wilding. He wilding right now, man.
Hey man,
he looking unfamiliar out here, man. Woj, you got to chill out, man. You got to chill out, relax.
Man. When he like new people and fresh meat, man, they give him the information.
He got Woj at his phone like he's rushing to get that news out.
Right, exactly.
He don't care who he steps on or who he hurts. He doesn't care.
Right. Hey, man. You gotta be there.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, sidebar, I'm literally with the bullshit in regards to who's posting faster. I'm just watching, like, all right, who got the story?
It's been Shams more recently.
Yeah.
So
Shams is on it, man.
That's like Joanna Anderson in the NFL. The same thing. Like
right.
She's on it now.
We have Woj bomb. What are we doing for Shams? We got to think of that.
This is terrible. A Shams story.
Nah, come on, man.
That's not good.
Woj bomb. You got to have something that's.
I don't know, man. I'm not good with that. Not at the moment.
Woj bomb. Shams quake. You got Shams quake?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm gonna be walking around the house and thinking of one.
Yeah, I gotta think about that.
Well, I'm not good at freestyling. Let's see. Grady said. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, Grady says. I wonder if Ben Simmons will bring any celebrity dates next season courtside when he's racking up.
That's the only people that come to Nets games anyway, so you might as well.
Oh, right, for real. Man.
Might as well.
It is celebrities and.
You just
fed up Knicks fans.
You just get influencers and IG people that come to Brooklyn games. They don't care nothing about basketball at all.
Yeah, nah.
I'm telling you. Let me tell you something about Nets games. I've been to a lot of them. Shams Tsunami. I like that. Mike Guido with the Shams Tsunami. I like that. But going to Nets games, it's such a weird atmosphere. Like,
it is.
They don't get loud. It's very odd, man. It's an odd place to watch basketball. Nice,
like you said,
it's just odd.
Yeah. But like you said though, I heard that they just give it out to like executives. And, people that don't really care for the game. That ain't like us. Like we're fans.
Right.
They give it mostly to executives.
I think in the next like this next generation of kids, they are gonna be Nets fans, right? Because remember, all the Nets fans are still in Jersey.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and that took decades to build up. So the same thing is going to happen here. You know, it's not going to happen overnight.
Nah, take winning to be fans, man. I take winning.
And also, this is a Knick town.
Winning.
It'll always be a Knick town. Even if they win, it's still going to be a Knick town.
Absolutely.
So, facts.
Now, would you talk about the Knicks with Julius Randle, man? What you think is up with him, man? You think he's going to be out of there?
Yeah, ship him to China. You can go to China. Ship him there.
You want him back in Los Angeles, Barry?
Clippers. Yeah, you can go to Clippers.
Okay.
You can definitely go to Clippers.
Barry would take him with LA if they trade.
No.
You want to take him?
No.
Would you take? Oh, how about for Westbrook?
No.
Not even for Westbrook.
No. At least Westbrook can use both his hands.
This is true.
At least Randall's got a mid-range.
At least Westbrook can use both his hands. Randall's been in the league almost 10 years and don't have no right hand still. And he has one move that he turns the ball over every time he tries to do it. That spin in the lane, he constantly tries to do it and he turns the ball over.
He does.
I want no parts of him. at all.
I watched it live. So yeah.
At all. Won no parts of him at all.
Yeah, but how about I was thinking just today. I was like, since Bridges is in his troubles or whatever, why don't you do like a sign and trade with Charlotte and ship Randall to Charlotte and get Bridges in New York?
Right.
What you think? What you think about that? You think that trade? You think it fits or what?
I mean, listen, Randall has to play better to get his market back up. If he has another season the way he plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a big market for him. He's making a lot of money. He's a malcontent that is visibly upset on the court. Those are things that teams are very, very, they kind of back away from. If you're going to be upset, make sure that you make noise behind the scenes and you're not making noise on the court to make people realize that you're upset. The criticism or the lack of his ability to handle the media in New York, that's another thing that people are looking at. His maturity level. There's a lot of baggage that comes with the Julius Randle. And just like I said, they went ahead and did the cardinal sin in regards to paying a guy in his contract year big dollars, expecting something else. You're getting exactly what Julius Randle is: an inefficient, erratic basketball player that has not grown up yet.
Yeah,
and he's been that since day one.
And something else too. I mean, what do you think? Because he just finished his third year in New York. The only one has been, even remotely, successful. The second year in New York.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? You think? I'm not even asking if it was a fluke, but why did he play so well that second year in New York, and then the year three looked more like year one?
Like I said, contract year. A lot of times these guys will focus a lot, get their games going, like really dive in and dial into what they have to do because they got to get that bag. They got to get that next big contract. So you're going to see the best player that you will see, right? And then when they get that money, they go right back to what they normally do. Anthony Davis, you saw what he did in L.A. He was the most healthy he's ever been. He looked great, got that big contract, and then what did he do? He went right back to being Mr. Hurt, Mr. I'm gonna
AD always down.
Right. I'm not gonna shoot a basketball until August or whatever shit he does. Like that's what he is. So you gotta be careful with guys when you're gonna pay them off a contract year. It doesn't work out all the time.
No,
it really doesn't.
Yeah, just like you said with Jalen Brunson and going another Knick player.
Right. So he's coming. He's going to New York. I want to see how he handles that.
Right.
Well, his dad works for the franchise, doesn't
he? Yeah. What does that mean?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll get some help in the organization.
But I said, well, Randall though, like I say, they had to pay him, and they didn't overpay him though either though at the same time too. So that worked in the Knicks' favor as well.
Right.
That was pretty good. Like you said, they came to the Knicks. The Knicks wasn't doing good. He because he always had decent numbers, even in New Orleans. Like he had decent numbers. LA, New Orleans, in New York, you can do a little more. You're a little more on the stage. You know what I mean? So the numbers are gonna look a little better. And second year, he got a good coach in Tibbs, and made the playoffs. Everything looked good, and now you seen the true player though. So
right.
Barry, I want you to read this comment from your boy Mike.
Yes.
Is that not true?
Yes.
I'm just saying. You said, but that's what surprised me about your reaction to the Randall thing.
I'm sorry. As much as I despise Westbrook, Randall, he's right up there. He's in that same mold of player to me. The same erratic. They just don't really understand clock time, and it's all the same. So I'm trading one for the other. There's no difference. It's no difference. Really no difference.
At least, like I said, Randall acting like he's a superstar.
Right.
Yes, he does.
So does Russ.
I mean, still.
What I'll give Russ, though, at least he was one at one point. I'll give Russ that.
He had the world fooled. That's what it is. He had the world fooled.
Nah,
everybody had on their triple-double glasses when Russ was playing.
Ugh.
Nobody was paying attention to the bad passes, to the erratic jump shots, to the air balls, to the turnovers. Nobody cared because all we saw were highlights of him getting triple-doubles. That's all we saw.
Right, now, so I got a question for you guys. If Russell's making $20 to $25 million,
no,
would y'all look at him differently than y'all look at him at 47?
No.
I would not take him. No, I wouldn't.
No.
I think it's more the money, man, than anything.
It's not the money.
So.
It's the play. He is John. He's bad. Like
No,
I've never seen a player.
In LA, yeah.
Not even in LA. What team in the NBA right now? Let's just go through a few. What team could be able to take Russell Westbrook with his style of play right now and win?
Phoenix?
No.
Oh gosh, no. Absolutely not.
No way.
I like Phoenix.
No way.
Why would Phoenix work?
No way. You take Chris Paul off of that team, and they go from a 60-win team to winning 42 games and fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I'm not saying trading for that, but I'm saying he will work in Phoenix.
No, with
off the bench
with Chris Paul
coming off the bench. Yeah,
he's not. First off, he's not coming off the bench for nobody. We know that.
He's Allen Iverson. Well, I'm even more of an Iverson guy in that department. I at least get where he was coming from.
Right.
But no, the thing with Russ that has always driven me nuts is, and we've talked about it over and over. He knows one way to play basketball.
One way, one speed,
and it's full. I mean, if you want to get let's forget the Lakers ever happened, forget the Rockets ever happened, forget the Wizards ever happened. Let's talk about his prime years in Oklahoma City.
Right.
If you want to get a sort of masterclass as to how Russell Westbrook plays basketball, everybody always remembers Game 5 of his last game as an Oklahoma City Thunder against Portland when Dame hit the walk-off and waved goodbye. Watch Russell's tape from that game. Built that Oklahoma City lead, I think up to like 15 in the fourth quarter, and kept playing the same way. And Damian, on the other hand, is managing the clock. He's getting in the basket. Obviously he's hitting his threes. He scored 50 in that game. But there was a play late in the game where Russell could have ran the game clock down to like 5 seconds, and he shot the ball with 15 when the game's tied. It's little things like that that's just frustrating. I mean, listen, Russell's a good dude. He is. But man, especially as a Warriors fan watching the second greatest point guard to ever live, it drives me crazy watching Russell Westbrook. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's very frustrating watching him play basketball, and Julius Randle is right up there with him.
Nah, Randle worse. I guess I'm more of a Westbrook fan than y'all.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Clearly.
you are. You're not going to get any support on this side. He's on my team. I can guarantee you, if Russell Westbrook ends up being a Chicago Bull, you will have a different take the next season about Russell Westbrook, because, like I said, a lot of people who watch Russell Westbrook, they don't watch him. What they do is they look at highlights. They see all the highlight plays. If you watch Russell Westbrook do a whole 35-minute game or what he plays, it's hard. It's so bad. We're talking about bad turnovers, bad shots, bad defense. It's frustrating to watch. So that's what I'm saying. People who are Russ fans, they're only Russ fans because he gets triple doubles. If Russ never got triple doubles, nobody would be talking about Russ, and that's the honest truth.
Yeah, like I said, I'm more of a Russ fan. Like I said, I've watched some games, and like I said, definitely terrible, especially the shot selection, like you said.
And it's and the shots,
15 seconds,
and the shot selection. Here's the thing: the shot selection, John, has never changed.
Nope,
it's never changed. Like I said, the only difference now is that he's older and he's not getting the triple doubles that look good anymore. That's the problem.
And this is what I've always used Vince Carter as the perfect example that. Shooting age as well. And Vince Carter at age 37 as opposed to 27 is not even the same basketball player.
Knockdown shooter.
Russell, I believe Russell can still do that.
No.
You don't. My thing is, it's not just a matter of he can't shoot. His form is terrible. If you ask any,
his mechanics are really bad. Yes,
his mechanic, and I don't want to get too technical or anything like that, but I follow, obviously, shout out Lethal Shooter on Instagram and Mike Dunn, some great shooting coaches.
Brinkley,
and the one thing that sticks out about Russ, especially on his threes, is and I can't really do it with the camera fashion, but when he lets it go and then pulls his hands back down. There's no follow through.
Right.
That's why they call him Westbrook, is because it just smacks the back of the rim, and it sounds terrible. It looks terrible. But that's he holds the ball out too much when he shoots. That's been LeBron's issue in his career.
Yeah, but like you said, though, it's definitely different because at least Vince Carter had that in his game already. Like he had the little fadeaway shot.
Well, the one thing that Vince Carter had over Russell Westbrook, who a lot of players have over Russell Westbrook, is IQ.
Right.
Vince Carter had a high basketball IQ. When you don't have a high basketball IQ to start with, you don't understand levels of the game. Right. There's levels. So when your IQ, and we're not talking about him being a dumb person. He's not a dumb person.
No.
But basketball IQ is completely different. It's how you see the game and how you break down stuff. If you don't have that type of IQ on the court, you're not going to be able to see certain things. Like when you look at Russell Westbrook in the pick and roll, and we're spending a lot of time on this, we'll move on. But when you see Russell Westbrook in the pick and roll, he doesn't have a feel for when the guy is supposed to roll to the basket. He just sees motion and he throws the basketball. It has nothing to do with that. You need to understand where the defense is, where your offensive player is, where your role man is, where your position is as a point guard, setting up that setting up that pass, that lob, whatever it is. He doesn't have a feel for the game. So that's the problem. That speaks to basketball IQ. When you look at LeBron James, and obviously you can't compare the two, but we're talking about basketball IQ. You can see a guy that understands feel. Ja Morant understands feel of the game. He doesn't make those mistakes. Certain guys, you can tell when they pass, when they understand where they need to be, levels of defense, levels of where positioning is. Basketball IQ comes into play, and Russ doesn't have that.
Right.
Nope.
I agree on that. I can't defend Russ on the IQ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely can't. But talking about
are we quiet on the free agent end, fellas? What's going on here?
I ain't seen nothing.
We don't have anything.
I think it's quiet.
How about we do have one good source. Shout out Fat Joe. He said that he is close to Donovan Mitchell and that Mitchell's dream is playing for Miami, not his hometown Knicks.
Wow. Hey, listen, man. No state tax, right?
That's true.
It's all about the money.
He get all his money.
All about the money. But talking about, I want to get on Memphis, man. What you think Memphis needs to add to that team, man, to really contend? Like
health.
They're up there now.
That's all it is.
I think more than health, though.
I'll tell you this. Memphis got some bad news today with Jaren Jackson. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But what was the surgery on again? A heel or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Let me check. Hold on. I want to get this right. Jaren Jackson.
I mean,
veteran. I think veteran presence is always good, John. Like you need guys that have been there before that can fill a role because they have great young players. But if you can get some veterans that you can be able to stick in certain situations, then that's where you can be able to, contend with teams like Golden State. They were good this year, and they gave Golden State a run for their money. They had some injuries, but who knows if they have some veterans that can hit some timely shots, what happens in that series? It's a different ball game. Veterans in the playoffs means a lot. Veterans in the regular season, you can get through a regular season with your kids. But in the playoffs, you need guys that have been there before, and that's why Golden State is champions today because their key guys been there before, and that's very important. You can allow the young kids to be able to, have some bad games, but those veteran guys that understand what it is to be in those trenches, they know how to be calm. They know how to set things up. They know how to calm the waters. So they need some veterans that can be able to calm the waters when it's time for them to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they just did New Portland.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
New Portland. We're just, you know what I mean? Being good, but.
Hey! Guess where your guy landed, Bryson?
Who's my guy?
Toscado Anderson.
He didn't go.
He's going to LA, baby. Lakers. That's what I'm talking about. We are getting a whole bunch of wing defenders.
You're gonna like him, though. You're gonna like him.
I know he can play some defense. I like it. Let's
I'll tell you
go,
this.
I
man.
told you.
Unfortunately,
young-
we did not have the money to pay my man Toscano Anderson. I have said over and over they're going to make a movie about this kid one day, but works his tail off. See, this is how desperate that he's gotten. He is celebrating taking the 12th guy off a championship bench and adding him to his roster. This is how desperate that Laker fans have gotten.
It's better than Kent Bazemore. I tell you that
Oh
much.
yes, Barry, I warned you about Kent Bazemore.
Yes, you
did I
did.
not?
You were spot on with that. So if you're telling me that Toscano Anderson is good, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for it.
He's
so
a
why shouldn't I be excited? Why shouldn't I be excited?
3-point shooter. He's not a good free throw shooter, but he can play. He probably won't have to in Los Angeles, but he can play the 5 in a small lineup if he has to. Good passer, can dunk on somebody's head.
Yeah, he's athletic, and
he's very athletic.
And we did not have that last year. We did not have athletes that could just bang it on your head. You know, we need guys like that. Now we're starting. We got Lonnie Walker. We got Damian Jones, Toscano. We have guys that can be able to flush the ball. So I like it, man, because Lonnie Walker is a cagey defender. I like that kid, man.
Hey, he got some D.
I'm excited. Yes.
He got some D. Did Peyton sign with Dallas yet?
Gary Payton?
Yeah.
No, we haven't got anything on Gary Payton yet. Let me check. I don't.
JaVale McGee is going to the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, okay.
That's a good pickup.
I like that.
Good pickup.
That's a good rotation player. Him and Wood.
That's a good pickup.
Like the Pistons are linked to Gary Payton.
Yeah, I think Payton going to Dallas. Especially after they lost Brunson over there. Have a good bench player. Bench.
Pull up some comments, Bryson. Let's see what we got here.
Let's see. It's a lot of Russ stuff. I don't know if we want to dampen the mood. Let's see. Grady asked if we think if we think Kyrie will end up in LA this season.
Kyrie will be in LA by Sunday. Quote me on that.
I agree with you. I think he will.
Yeah. If anything happens,
Sunday.
Definitely. It's happening fast.
I may even break it on my podcast on Saturday.
That would be great. That would be great.
Who knows?
Maybe do like something live or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows, man? If that happens, I may have to go live. I may just jump on IG.
Will.
I may have to jump on IG like old times and get it in.
Now, do you sign him to an extension?
Of course you do. Of course.
Or you play out
what you wish for.
Oh, he wants 4 years.
Be careful what you wish for.
Give it to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
right.
give it.
Be careful.
If there's one thing I like, talent. Okay, he may be weird. He may be this. He may take days off.
It's not just that he's weird. He's not available.
Talent.
That's the same thing the net. That's the same thing the net says.
That's what the
we
net
are. We are more stable than the Nets. Okay.
Stephen A. Smith said, I thought he had the line of the year on Kyrie Irving. He said, I would give him the Supermax 1 year at a time. 1 year at a time.
Right. $50 million 1 year at a time. Yeah. That's funny.
Listen, man, there's still some good free agents still in the market.
Oh yeah.
This is just.
But here's the question though: is the money drying up, Bryson? Because how many teams out there have cap space? That's the problem.
Not that many.
That's true. The cap went up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it went up 12 million. 12 million.
So I think a lot of dominoes will fall once the Kyrie and KD and what you call it.
Now here's a question.
Gets traded.
Here's a question for you, John. With your team, your Zach LaVine is very quiet right now. Is he resigning?
I was just about to bring him up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't say it already.
Maybe they're still working out the details, but I mean, I don't see a scenario where he leaves unless talks break down, and I don't see that happening.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I mean. But just like you going, like you don't want to pay nobody too quick, and now it comes to bite you in the foot, though.
Yeah.
At least the price went up. You know what I mean? At least $100 million,
right?
Easily.
Yeah.
From this year to last year, now you go from max to super max. Now
they play well.
Yeah, listen, man, it's injuries. You got to see what you're gonna get out of Lonzo Ball next season. Kobe White, I think you guys are gonna have to trade Kobe White.
I agree. I told you that last year.
I think honestly, I heard that there was a rumor. There was a rumor out there that the Lakers may be interested in Kobe White. So it may be like a THT for Kobe White type of. I think THT for you guys would be better off.
Oh, that's a landslide for the Lakers. You kidding me? THT, come on, man.
Well, I think THT for the Bulls works good because he can be able to play some point guard off guard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
He's much better playing off guard.
yeah.
I did see the report. Lakers linking with him too, but
Yeah.
we gotta flip him because, like you said, Caruso, Ball, like we got the guards already, Levine, DeRozan. So he's kind of
JaVale got paid a little bit.
Did he?
3 years, $20 million.
Good for him. Good for him. Good for him, man.
Grinded his way to where he's at.
JaVale McGee have you ever seen a player turn around people's opinion about him like JaVale McGee?
He used to be Mr. Shaqtin' a Fool. Now he's a 3-time champion on contending teams.
Mr. Low basketball IQ, just out there floating. He went to Golden State and really, reset his value. Then he went to the Lakers and really played well, won a championship. So, good for him. Really good for him.
For sure.
I was mad. I was mad when we got rid of him. I was really mad when we got rid of him because he was solid for us.
That was definitely one player I should have kept.
Yeah.
Especially he's not getting paid a lot either. So I don't know why they make that.
I mean, listen, they fell in love with the Marc Gasol thing. That was a disaster.
Yeah, gosh, that was terrible.
I forgot he played for y'all.
Yeah, me too.
Brief.
Very brief.
Let's see. We still got the two Martin brothers on the market: T.J. Warren, Kyle Anderson, my guy Otto Porter Jr.
Can we talk about T.J. Warren right quick, Bryson? What is the market for a guy, because he's coming off an injury? He's talented, but
he is.
What is the market for a guy like do you give him like some of your taxpayer minimum? Do you give him veteran minimum? I think he's better than a vet min contract. I think that's the problem right now, or what teams are probably looking at. We like him, but what is his value right now? Like, what can we be able to pay him that makes sense?
Health is the issue with him,
and health is the issue, right?
1 for 12.
So you think coming off an injury, $12 million?
Just 1 year though. You can't.
I'm good with that. For 1 year, I'm good with $12 million.
1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take him with the Bulls for that number. You know what I mean? With the Bulls.
I mean, and listen, he'd be a good addition to the Bulls, honestly.
For sure.
Absolutely.
He would be.
Nurkic, Looney, Colin Sexton, Gary Harris, Gary Payton, Ricky Rubio. There's some guys still available, no question.
I heard Rubio talking about back to Cleveland. Looney with the Hornets. Like I said, Payton.
Looney ain't going to Charlotte. He's staying.
Nah, it's time for Looney to get paid, brother.
We are going to pay him. We are going to pay him.
How much?
I forgot what Bob Myers suggested. But they're going to pay him. Trust me. They're going to give him his money.
Do you guys have the money to pay him?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's in San Francisco. We got the money to pay him. We're in Silicon Valley. We're like $150 million over the cap in the luxury tax.
Right. That's crazy.
What's 150 compared to 175, right?
That's definitely fair.
Yeah, they should all just give him under the table money anyways. That's what they do anyways.
That's definitely fair.
Steph and all them. Steph got it. Give him $250,000. Him, Draymond, and
exactly.
Clay, all under the table. We were $250,000. Yeah,
that's fair.
They're
thinking 3 years, $30 million is what they're projecting for Kevon Looney right now. They can pay that.
So
that's good for him.
Does Otto Porter come back to the Warriors, or do you think he's gone?
Bob Myers said the priority number one right now is retaining Looney. Porter and Bielitsa are like the two that are either they're going to have to keep one or let both walk possibly. Porter's reportedly looking to try and get paid, which he had that massive contract in Washington a few years ago. So that's going to be an interesting thing for Otto Porter, but we'll see. Oh, let's see. Let's bring John back in. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Nah,
your internet go out?
Nah, I had a spam call.
I hate
748. But Otto Porter, man, he need to give back money, man. Get out of here with that. Trying to get paid.
He's a nice player though. We need he was huge in the Memphis series.
He reset his value with the Warriors because he's a great 3-point shooter.
A year ago.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but remember Washington? They gave him the max, and then he got traded to the Bulls.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is,
you're salty because of how it's turned out in Chicago.
Yeah. See, the thing is, when I remember when he got the extension, they gave that to him because that was the market at that time. But he's a role player. He's always been a role player, and they paid him like he was something different. That's the problem. So the fact that he's on Golden State now as a role guy. You see his value, and that's exactly where he belongs. He belongs as a role guy to be able to play a little defense, be a stretch four, can hit that three consistently. That's his role. He's not going to give you anything more than that, and that's fine. That's fine.
So what is his? $10 million or vet million?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he's definitely a $7 to $10 million player. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
We'll take this show to the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. See if anything else comes in. But
sounds good.
I mean, look, see, this is what I love about free agency. I get a kick out of it every year when 6 o'clock hits and all the notifications are coming in. Like, they just now agreed. It's like, oh, stop it. They got to stop with this tampering. I love Adam Silver. They got to stop with the tampering.
Just stop the tampering. Stop finding people. Let people. They're talking anyway, so it don't make sense. It don't make sense.
You know how much recruiting goes on during All-Star Weekend?
Yeah, like that's where it goes on the most.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? You got players playing with for other teams. What do you think they're doing? You think they're not talking about, this was fun. You want to play on my team? Of course it happens. So it's like,
and during the Olympics, that's how the Eagles came together.
And during the off season.
Yep.
And most of these players have each other's numbers. They go hang out with each other on the weekends. Like,
they
probably have group chats.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Like, come on now. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah, we had to pay a little money for that Alonzo Ball contract last year.
Yeah, I remember Magic Johnson had to pay that money for Paul George a couple of years back. Like, come on now. It's ridiculous.
Right. He didn't even get him
If
either.
we could just bring back Iguodala, I know he's going to be a venture capitalist and everything, but if we could bring him back like an Udonis Haslam type role.
I'm telling you, listen, we laugh, but that's important. You know what I mean? Like,
it is very important.
That he has a role. He's a locker room guy. Keeps the young guys, it keeps them aware of what's going on, keeps them locked in. So, hey.
No,
I think we make fun of the Udonis thing because, well, obviously he doesn't play, but because every scuffle, it's like he's always
he's ready.
Coming
he's ready.
The end of the bench.
He's ready.
He's ready. He's like that hockey player that doesn't play, but they bring him in to eat up penalties.
Yeah,
exactly. Just to fight. Yeah.
Just going in and knock a few heads around and take a penalty or two.
By the way, aside from the NBA for a second, I'm sure you saw this. Barry, your Trojans are joining the Big Ten.
Of course, big time. That's where the money's at. That's where the money's at, man. We leaving the Pac-12. They don't want to pay us. They don't want to pay us. We going to the big bucks, and we're gonna dominate.
The Big Ten.
Yeah, we're gonna dominate.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I like Lincoln Riley, but
do you see our recruiting class, Bryson? You gotta relax.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
You gotta relax, okay?
Oh, no,
listen. USC is back in 2 years. 2 years.
We back this year.
So playoff.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't going.
You're out of your mind.
We're gonna be number 3 in the nation this year.
You're
number
out
3.
Of your mind. Stop.
Number 3.
You're making yourself look foolish, bro.
So we gonna put some money on it? Or we gonna put another bet on it? We gotta put a bet on it.
Let's see.
Number 3.
Here's what we got to do. Here's what we got to do.
Number 3.
So I embarrass myself with the Dak bet as New York Bryson. You will not get New York Bryson in the future unless I lose this type of bet. How about this? If USC makes the college football playoff, you will get New York Bryson.
Nice.
If they don't, we're getting Southern Barry.
Wow.
You willing to do that?
How long do I got to do that for?
2 minutes.
Okay. That's fair.
Done?
That's fair. We good.
Done. Boom.
We good.
That's easy money, man. That's easy money.
Okay.
John, you stay out of this. Okay. You stay.
I don't think. No. I don't want to hear Southern John.
Stay out of this. Okay?
No, I don't want none. I know they ain't gonna be in the college football. No.
We gonna see.
Listen, I think USC's on the right track big time, but this year,
what's USC record against Notre Dame in the last 5 years?
Ooh.
What's been the status of my program the last 5 years?
Clay Hilton.
Been a disaster. Been a complete disaster.
Clear it out.
So we gonna see. We gonna see.
Nah, for you. Nah, USC always
had.
Listen, they always got all the talent, man. They always got all the talent. Always. Better recruiting than Notre Dame. Trust me, I know.
It's cyclical. We come back around. Okay, we come back around.
What the big brands do.
Every 10 years. Yeah.
Exactly. Pretty much.
You college football fan, John? You got a team?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
I got you. Yeah.
He likes the Fighting Irish.
The Fighting Irish, baby.
Yeah. That's my bad. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we ain't winning nothing. We'll compete. We won them, B+ teams. We ain't no Alabama.
No, they're always there.
Yeah, we always there. But when we face Clemson and the big boys, Georgia and all that, We're getting run out the gym. You know what I mean?
There's the famous there's the famous video from the playoff a couple of years ago, and they did the ranking show, and they showed Notre Dame as the fourth team, and that Notre Dame fan like put her hands in her palms because she knew it was about to happen against the Crimson Tide.
Wait. Well, you know what they should do, what they won't do is if they lower their what do you call it, their scholar or education requirements just a bit.
Sure.
Then they'll start to get a bigger pool of talent there. But they're Notre Dame. They're not going to do that. So,
Right. Yeah, just like with Duke, you know what I mean? Not one and done for a long time. But you still got to evolve, though. I think what would bring more talent is if we be in one of these big conferences. Like,
that's true. Conference. Yeah, they it's time for Notre Dame to accept the conference. I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, look, if you got all these bum conferences, the Big 12 and now the Pac-12 is about to be in a couple of years.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's holding us back.
Yeah. They're still operating, but you see the thing is with them, I think the reason why they don't want to do that is because they already have a big deal. They already have a big TV deal. They have the NBC deal, and they're good. You know what I mean? Like Notre Dame football is just as big as Cowboys football on Fox. So it's that's why they feel they don't need that. But for the program, they need it. Right. You know what I mean? Not for any dollars, but for the program itself, they definitely need that.
Exactly, and that's how I became a fan. They're just always on TV, like
always on TV.
Right. Fighting Irish, Go Helmet. That's my team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly. That's how I became a
Rudy
fan. Barry, hopefully you have a better accent than our ex.
Listen, my accent will be on point. I'm gonna do some research.
That was bad.
Come on, man.
Do some research, man.
Terrible. Terrible.
Oh, it was terrible. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's change the subject.
Hey, man, he did his thing though, and he left before he got fired. So that's one.
Yeah. Nah, he wasn't talking about you, Bryson. He was talking about.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name now. Crap. LSU.
Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was terrible.
Brian Kelly was a disaster.
I'd like to thank my family.
That was just terrible, bro.
Gee whiz.
It was the money. The money made him do it. It was like, hey, once this check cleared, you gotta do this. Like y'all little bet right here.
Right.
That's what happened right there. You gotta do this little accent.
Because ESPN showed like an interview he had done a couple of years ago, and he's kind of got like a little Boston twang in there. And then, oh my gosh, that was awful.
It was terrible, man. I'm telling you, the boosters was like, you gotta do this Southern accent.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, it's funny, man. It's definitely funny. But we'll see though. We'll definitely see. Like I said, we'll be there, but
definitely. I like y'all's coach though.
Yeah. He's a good upcoming coach. Definitely, I like him too.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see though.
Tennessee's back though. You know that, right?
Grady's asking a question I'm going to answer.
Okay. Barry, what is the ceiling for your Lakers next year with Westbrook versus with Kyrie?
The ceiling with Westbrook, with the team that's right now, they're still battling for a playing spot.
What about Kyrie?
I think the ceiling would be maybe if things all break well, 6.
Well, that'd be very well. If it be, oh god.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything has to break right. No injuries. No bad basketball consistently.
Oh, you're getting bad basketball. You're talking no injuries.
That's what I'm saying. No, consistently. No bad basketball. 6th place. But with Kyrie, LeBron, and AD, if they all stay healthy and give you the maximum amount of games that you can be able to get out of that trio, if you get 60 games out of that trio, I think the Lakers are up there with Golden State and the Clippers as the 3 best teams in the West.
Stop it. We bounce you on 5 games.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying we'll be talked about with the 3 best teams in the West.
Hey man, I gotta quote the GOAT. The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. That's right.
That's right. All I'm gonna say about the Lakers. Because I said good things about them last year. And
you did.
Right. It's all about wait and see, right, John? It's all about wait and see.
Wait and see, bro.
Listen, we're approaching the top of the hour, 8:00. We haven't had any major news in NBA free agency, so go on, get out of here real quick. John, if you have any last words, feel free, my man.
Oh, you got the apple juice going.
Got the apple juice, yes, sir.
Nah, like I said, I love this time of the year. This time of the year, NBA and NFL free agency, man, is the best times of the year. So you know what I'm saying? Can't wait to the NBA season to start, NFL season to start. You know, right now it's gonna be a little dry time. After this free agency is gonna be a little dry time. But other than that, man, check me out on all platforms, man. Fan Perspective Podcast, man, on YouTube,
Yes, sir.
Spotify, anywhere you can listen to, man. And like I said, we're on YouTube, definitely Fan Perspective with a PH.
Go support my man.
Yes,
That
sir.
podcast is very good. And you know, I don't have any parting words, Bryson, but I do have a song to sing.
Oh, don't sing.
Yeah, I will sing a bit. Are
Please
you ready?
don't. No,
Are
I'm
you
not
ready?
ready. Oh, God.
These are for all the Brooklyn Nets fans out there. It's a very old song that really, really captures the day and the events that are going to lead in the weeks that come. Burn, baby, burn.
Burn,
Disco
baby, burn.
Inferno. Burn that mother down. Burn, baby, burn.
Baby, burn.
That's what's going to happen. All you Nets fans that were cheering and, oh, the Knicks now, what are you going to do? We're the Kings of New York and blah, blah, blah. And we have the best team. And, oh, you're laughing at Laker fans, Westbrook. Now look at you. All you're going to have left is Ben Simmons to rely on. Good luck. Good luck. You want to talk about a dead zone and nothing? Welcome to Brooklyn. Thank you. Thank you. I've been waiting for this day for so long, and Brooklyn fans are nowhere to be found. My boy Bishop, shouts to Bishop. I haven't heard from him all day. And that's why all the 5 Net fans that are out there are all in hiding right now. So thank you.
Where Brooklyn at?
Yeah.
Wait, you said that just all they're left with Ben Simmons, man. That hurts. Oh, that hurts so bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Barclays gonna look like Houston's arena always looks empty. That's what Barclays gonna look like next year.
It's gonna look like the Long Island Nets right there in the Coliseum.
That's a fact.
They're gonna be giving away tickets.
I mean, they do more sporting events than Nets games, anyways.
Yeah,
there's always boxing or wrestling or something in there.
There you go. They better call Vince McMahon and book
Vince McMahon. Not Vince McMahon.
And book the Barclays more often than not, because they ain't gonna sell that place out next season. I'll tell you that much.
That's a fact.
Yep. Well, John, appreciate you. Barry, appreciate you.
Doubt.
And we'll go and get out of here. But that is the free agent special with my man John, Barry Grant Jr. See y'all, Barry. See y'all, John. This was fun, though. This was fun. Got some free agent news coming in. Last 2 hours of coverage. Again, this is kind of a different show than usual. But hope everybody's a great day. We will be back on Carving Up Live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on Twitter. Have a great evening, everybody. We may have some Kevin Durant news. Who knows? Stay safe out there. God bless you all. Peace out. We still have a champs, though. Again. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.